We're moving on with an all-time favorite guest here. It's Moshi Blum from Viber, a communication app. He has 3 out of 4 mobile sprays on his track record, and he will talk about unboxing Google's Ads black box. Please clap your hands together for Moshi.
A couple of years ago, I had some time to kill in London. I remember myself walking through the narrow street of Camden Market, and then I saw this. It's a really shiny object, so I went into the store, and I picked it up. When I waited, there is something inside it, right? Then the seller approached me, and he, as if he knew all of my weaknesses and strengths, told me that if I'm going to solve this box, I'll get a 20% off. Challenge accepted. After 30 minutes, I walked out of the store with this box and 20% off the retail price. Now, the secret about this box is try to identify its weaknesses, right? Because there are some irregularities in the pattern, and when you notice it, you notice that some panels are being moved, and sooner than later, an action causes a reaction, causes another action, and the lid is open, and you get a key, right? Now, today, I'm going to talk to you about a very similar virtual puzzle box, Google Ad. But before that, let me give you the disclaimer. The first disclaimer is that this is not going to be a sales pitch for Google Ad, nor is it going to be how to set your first Google Ads campaign. We are way above this stage. We're going to give you a very realistic approach of the disadvantages and the advantages of Google Ads, and also give you some of the things that we are doing at Viber in order to deal with Google Ads better. The second disclaimer is that my experience is based solely on my activity with Viber. And although I encourage you all to use my tips and to try it at home, maybe some of the tips will not work for your application because there is no one solution that solves everything. So let's start. In order to understand Google Ads, or formerly known UAC, we must first understand the history beyond that, right? Let's rewind a bit. Back in 2016, it was very complex to run Google AdWords, right? You need to have 3 different specialities in your team: a YouTube specialist, a search specialist, a display specialist. Google didn't leverage all the information that they collected from its user and give them to the advertiser. And Play Store was not available at that time. And as a result, it was a very awkward positioning for Google to be only 5th in the power index, and of course, training beyond the power player of the market, Facebook. Fast forward into 2019, Google is very easy to set. It takes you a couple of minutes to set your first campaign. It serves all the placement within the Google ecosystem, including Google Play, which is a very strategic asset. And it has an advanced machine learning mechanism that can optimize your campaigns according to 400 different parameters that Google collects and can share with you. However, and of course, this strategic move has placed Google second on the power index, and in many regions and in many different verticals, Google is now number 1. However, advertisers complain about Google Ads. This creates a lot of criticism from different advertisers, saying that I don't know what's actually happening within this black box, right? I kind of lose control of what can I do and what I cannot do. In addition to that, there is no longer need for sophistication. The skills are not an advantage anymore, and experience is not required to run Google Ads. So don't take it from me, right? In their latest marketing live event for Google said that we know that most advertisers think about machine learning as being a black box. 10 seconds later, they actually put an illustration of a black box describing their product. So how do we regain control? How do we leverage the source to do what we want them to do? How do we get more results out of Google Ads? The rest of the presentation is going to deal with it. Because in Viber, what we try to do over the last 3 years that we are using Google is trying to see how the end user is seeing the results, seeing the ads that we're delivering through the platform. And then try to think about several things that we can change accordingly. And then do some tests, analyze the results, and iterate on the successful experiment that we run. The bottom line is try to think outside of the box. Try to think about Google Ads as a puzzle that you need to solve, and try to identify the weaknesses in order to solve it. And let me give you several examples. First, how to regain control over creative. In order to understand what is creative, I pulled 2 reports. The first report is the ad set report, right? And in the ad set report, you can see that the most converting assets, the one that we spend, the one that takes most of the budget, the one that drives most of the conversion, are the text ideas and the video, right? However, when you compare it into the network distribution report, you see that most of the conversions are coming from display, right? And this is something that is true across all of our campaigns. And to explain this discrepancy, must understand that Google is using the display dynamic creatives, right? When they're taking all of the assets that you put to your campaigns, but they combine it with Play Store assets as well. And they mash it up together and create yourself a very engaging, good-looking, and converting ads to place to your user in most of the cases, right? And by understanding that a single display creative is combined out of several elements that mostly including your, mostly can be found in your Play Store, for example, we can try to think about what can we do better in order to improve our creative, or which assets are appearing most in our creatives, and therefore we can try and tweak them. So the first thing that we found is that Google YouTube video is very common within display ads. If you have YouTube video, then place it. It's very important that the video will appear, because a lot of the ads, the display ads, are presenting a video, right? If you don't have a YouTube video, don't trust Google to create yourself a video, because they will do, and they will use a very awkward-looking screenshot plus icon video. So invest this time in creating a YouTube video. Second thing is the screenshots. You could use between the first and the third 3 screenshots to deliver some of the ads that you see. Therefore, screenshot is considered to be an organic user acquisition tool. But if you think about it, when you're running enough Google Ads campaign, screenshots are also becoming very important to your paid user acquisition. Therefore, if you design a screenshot, try to think about how to design them to compel to the user themselves. And lastly, the feature graphic, which you can find a feature graphic in the Play Store, and it's not really asset that we use because it's not available in the Play Store, but Google use it a lot in their ads, more than your display banners. Now, the ironic thing is, all of the examples that I presented have something, the last thing that you're going to notice is the text idea. But all of the ads are going to be attributed to the text ideas, because this is the only thing that connects the ads to your campaign suggestion. However, as you can see, most of them have nothing to do with the text idea. Here is an example of what we did. We ran a campaign, Fiverr is faster than ever, because we improved our application dramatically. And then we ran additional campaign the next month, iterating with the screenshot to be in the same language, visual language, and in the same marketing message as the campaign. We got 27% uplift in the CVR, and we got 10% uplift in CPI improvement, and of course in the other parameters following that. Only by changing the screenshot, and only by allowing the users to go to the exact funnel and to communicate the marketing message through all the acquisition process. And final words about creative. Google is putting a lot of prioritization into machine learning and deprioritize creative. If you're feeling experimental, take yourself a digital one-color sheet, put some squares into it, and upload it into your Google Ads campaign. You'll be amazed by the results that you're going to get. 2, how to regain control over your audience. Because targeting options in Google Ads are very limited. It's only limited to the geolocation and to the language. You can only target these. So how do you regain control over your audience? By using Google Campaign Goal Optimization for in-app events, you're actually single Google that you're interested in those specific users. Therefore, allowing Google to optimize your campaigns, to optimize your audience, to bring you more of that people that completed the event. If you have a very agile, very quick to implement R&D team, you can actually ask them to set up different events according to which campaign type you want to run. What we did is we ran 3 different campaigns with in-app event completion. Regarding message senders, people that will send their first message of Viber, we got 21% uplift in conversion. Regarding inviters, people that will invite others to join Viber, we got 16% uplift. And regarding Viber app purchasers, which we use different types of creative, we got more than 7,000 uplift in conversion because the Viber out typical audience is very esoteric and very unique, and it's not the typical Viber users. And only by taking and leveraging the insights that Google have on the users, they can actually identify people that are outside of the country and wants to call back home. Good. 3, how to regain control over the placements, right? Because as we said, Google Ads is targeting all the Google ecosystem, and you can't really differentiate between good placements and bad placements, and how to exclude overperforming placements. What we do in any of our campaign is we build a pyramid of placements, right? From the highest cost per conversion placement to the lowest cost per conversion. And this is like an example, but most of the time YouTube is going to appear on the top of the pyramid. And then we set the bid strategy to match what we want to get and to match what we don't want to get. Right? And this allowing us to exclude the underperforming placements that we have on our campaign. Now, it's very important to treat YouTube differently because YouTube is a very, very interesting or special tool, right? So how do we gain control over YouTube? The problem with YouTube, it's very good at brand awareness, and it's a hybrid solution for driving actions to mobile app installs. Right? So, and as a hybrid solution, it can be a very cool-looking thing like this, or it can be a very awkward-looking thing like this. So the situation about YouTube is that they have a very special attribution window. It has a very loose one-day impression, 30-day click attribution window, but in addition to that, they have engaged view, right? A very special condition that is based within all the TrueView campaigns, and TrueView for Google Ads for mobile is default on, and you can't switch it, in which if the user is converting within 3 days and complete seeing your video or watch more than 10 seconds, whatever comes first, he will be considered as a conversion. And because Google is a self-attribution network, they will deliver you the conversion, and they will attribute this install. So how to avoid YouTube, or how to manage YouTube better? First, avoid any bumper ads, the 6-second non-skippable ads. If you have short video, try to make it longer, so you will pass the 10 seconds mark. If you wanted to use YouTube, then you can set your bid strategy more higher to use YouTube. But if you don't want to use it, set your bid a little bit lower according to the pyramid of placements, and try to lower the share of Google. It's not 100% proof, but it will lower 95% of all the traffic coming from YouTube. And of course, I encourage you to calculate the incremental effect of YouTube. If you don't know what is incrementality, you can check out my last year presentation. But it's very important, especially if you're a brand, to calculate the incrementality of YouTube. Good. 5, how to regain control over the destination. Because in Viber, and I guess in many other applications, not always you want to bring the users to the main funnel of user experience, right? Sometimes you have different campaigns with different destination. In Viber, we have communities, we have bot, we have purchasing credit for Viber out, we have purchasing a local number, we have sticker markets, we have calling to a special number. All of those require deep link, and YouTube is not, and Google Ads is not supporting deep link at the moment, right? They are working on something, but it's not available yet. So how do we regain control over the destination? What we did is we combined our adjust with Braze, our CRM management tool, and by forwarding the attribution parameters from adjust to Braze, we were able to follow up the user, and after the installation and after the activation process, to bring him an in-app promotion saying the exact same thing that he saw on the external ad, and continue with the process of conversion. Hiring the conversion results. Now, the last thing, number 6, how to regain control over budget spent. Because according to Google, the daily spend can be as twice as you set it to be. So it's very fluid daily budget. In addition to that, the budget spend is fluctuating a lot. We saw that after hitting 3,000 to 4,000 daily spend per single country, we see this trend, right? In which low conversion, higher budget, high conversion, low budget occurs, and because of the automatic optimization of the Google Ads, right? The campaign is behaving in a subnormal way. The way to do so, the way that we approach in order to solve it is thinking again outside of the box, right? Google recommend us not to overlap our campaigns. We did exactly that. We took the campaign, we split it into 6 different small campaigns targeting the exact same population. What we saw was pretty much amazing, right? After we did it, the CPI dropped significantly. The spend is horizontally, was placed horizontally, and the conversion rise, right? The result of the campaign was a decrease of 77% in the standard deviation, a total spend accuracy of almost 99%, and CPI improved by 20%. To sum up, we talked about creative, we talked about audience, placements, YouTube, we talked about deep links, and we talked about budget spend. And this is only the tip of the iceberg, right? But more than that, we talked about how to think outside of the box, how to think about the weaknesses that the platform have, how to think about the opportunity that you see in the platform, how to test your hypothesis, how to analyze the results, and how to iterate on your successful experiments. I hope that I tried to help you. I hope that it was helpful for you. As always, I'm available at my LinkedIn or at Viber. You can just do vb.me/Moshi. Hope to keep the discussion with you, hope to answer additional questions, and hope to hear some tips from you about how do you use your Google Ads campaign in a better and more accurate way. Thank you.
Moshi, Blum from Viber.